Hello, this is Baz. I'm going to show you how to revitalise one of these, which is a slightly knackered eGo-C atomizer. Now, what we're going to do first is remove the anti-spike. I'm just using a pair of tweezers here. You can see we just lever it slowly out of its hole here, and hopefully you can see it just coming up there. These are not glued in or anything, by the way, they're just pressed in, so they come out really nicely. And that's popped out of there, and you can see the mess that the Re-Wick leaves in the atomizer. I don't know whether the camera will focus on that. It might do, might not. It's a crappy camera. Sorry about that. I don't know if it will focus at all. It won't focus at all. Anyway, so we're going to clean this out first of all with just a pair of tweezers. And you can see that all that junk's going to come out of there. You see it's well welded onto that coil. And we're just going to grab bits of that and pull it out. It's not surprising this one wasn't working very well. Let's just grab that. Still a fair bit there. I'm just going to drop a little bit of vodka in there just to clear it out. My favourite drink. We'll take that out of there. And we're just going to drop, oops, the camera's now decided to focus up here. So we're going to just drop a little bit of alcohol in there. This is not a clean business, by the way. We're going to try and grab all the bits and pieces out of here. Sometimes it helps to grab hold of a magnifying glass if you've got one, which I have in the drawer here. If you can see that. That's starting to come a bit cleaner now. We still need to grab some of that black stuff out of there. You have to be careful here because although the coil is fairly chunky in these, they meter out at about 2.5 ohms, but the wires are still fairly delicate. And what you need then is a cotton bud, and just grab all the crap out of there. Should see it's all reasonably clean in there now. Yep. Okay, now that's the bottom bit. Now the spike is a lot easier. You just need a bent paper clip, grab the top of it and just push all the crap out of the bottom there, and you can see that's really a mess. Okay, we can throw all that away. Let's get a tissue. Right. Now we can just put the spike plate back in because our new wick is going to fit from the top. Now, the way these go in is with the legs on each side of the coil. Like so, if you try and get them in the other way, it won't fit back in the tank. Sorry, in the cone. And that just presses in by hand, nice and flat. Okay, easy bit. What you're going to need is a piece of 400 grade stainless steel mesh, which is in true Blue Peter fashion. I've made one before, and we're just going to roll this up into a tube. Oh, this is 6mm by 30mm long, which I found to be a reasonable size. And we just roll this up in a tube. It's a bit difficult to get it started, but don't worry about it. There we go. Right, there's our tube. Now that is obviously too big to go in our spike by a fair bit. So what we do, just grab it between the fingers and roll it up like this. Just keep rolling it. And eventually you'll find that it will reduce down in size till it's like that. And we're just going to need to chop the end of that off because it's like a pair of nail clippers, and we just whip the end off like that. Now take our paper clip and insert it into our new wick. It didn't work from that end. We'll try it from this end. There we go. Now we should find that you can push the paperclip all the way through. That's very important because it needs to be a tube. Just keep twisting it a little bit to keep it the right size. And that should now be the right size to go into a spike. And it is. Got a bit of paperclip there. But now, what we're going to do is oxidize it. And for that, we need a torch, which I've got here, and a glass of water, which I have here. And this is where the paperclip comes in as well, because we don't want to hold this in the flame with the fingers. Turn the torch on, and we're just going to heat it till it glows. Good and hot, and just quench in the water, give it a bit of a shake and heat it again. You'll do this about 3 times. Get it nice and red. This does a couple of things. It stops it conducting electricity for a start. And secondly, it makes it a bit more absorbent, which is nice. So this is the 3rd time we're going to do this. Now turn the torch off. Now, actually I'm going to need that again in a minute. What I do as an extra step, I don't know whether this is necessary or not, but I saw this on a video, is I'm going to grab hold of some juice, and what we're going to do is relight the torch. Relight the torch here, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take some juice, stick that on there. See that spitting and hissing. You can see that's a light. We're going to leave that to just burn out by itself. And again, we're going to do that 3 times. Just let it burn. And once more. We can turn the gas this off. And that, hopefully, is our finished wick. It's as simple as that. Now we're going to poke it into here. The nice thing about doing it this way is that to re-wick one of these, when these eventually fail, if they do, you don't need to take the thing apart, which is really handy. That's a little bit long, so I'm going to chop the end of that off. Just drop the atomizer on the floor. Not good. Let's just grab that. There you go. Now I'm just going to take the nail clippers and chop about 1 millimetre off the end. Now, what that will have done is flatten out the tube, so you need to grab your safety paper clip and just push it all the way through. And again, we're going to put that back in there. And that is now just about the right size. You might want to push it down as far as you can. But it's just about flush with the top of the spike. And all you have to do then, stick it in a battery, stick that on it. I've got to find some juice. There's a tank. And hopefully that's going to vape. I'm not going to turn the camera around. Well, it certainly does. Maybe I will turn the camera around. There I am, sideways. There we are. And we'll just take a vape of that again. Retake the... And that's not a bad vapour from that. Lots of flavour through it as well, which I never used to get off the old coils. That's not bad for an eGo-C. Well, that's it. I hope you enjoyed the video from my crappy camera, and I'll see you soon.